Hello everybody. If you're listening to this video, it's because you're either in one of two of my Cincinnati State classes, Circuit Analysis 1, or maybe you're taking the Electronics Fundamental class. What I wanted to do is make an introduction video for two reasons. Number one, the system that we're going to use to do the web remote is a little hard for me to show the syllabus and others documents that I want to show you from Blackboard. So this video is a good way for me to do that. And the other reason is when I make the videos, you guys can play it over and over again as many times as you need to. So I'm going to proceed with the video. My name is Professor Ronald Singleton. You can call me Ron or Professor Ron. I am a full-time tenured professor at Cincinnati State. I've been there since 2013. I'm also an adjunct professor of electrical engineering, technology, and mechanical engineering technology at the University of Cincinnati. I've been there since 1999. And I'll be your instructor for the next 15 weeks in one of the two classes that I just described. Some of you might be new to the college experience at Cincinnati State. And so what I want to do is introduce you to Blackboard and go to a class and kind of go over the syllabus and point out a few other things that will be useful before we start class. For most of you, the classes will start tomorrow. So if you're new to Cincinnati State, this is the website, and I don't know if you had a chance to use the Blackboard system yet, but this is our home page, and if you go over to, I think it says My C State, and click on that, then it should allow you to log in. Of course, my computer is running slow right now, but we'll see what happens here. So you can log in. Now, I'll go ahead and log in, but I'll log in as faculty, so when you guys log in, your screen might look a little different than mine. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of talk and go to the part of the class website that deals with my Circuit Analysis 1 class. However, if you're in the Electronic Fundamentals class, everything is pretty much the same. There are a few exceptions, and I'll point those out as we go along. So I'm going to go ahead and log in. And then when you log in, you'll be presented. Again, yours might be a little different, but at some point, you're presented with a list of classes. Now, I'm viewing this as faculty, and I can actually go in and change it to a view that looks more like what you guys will see. But let me go ahead and find the class, and I might do that. So I'll go over to my Blackboard courses. And again, I'm going to do this for the Circuit Analysis class. So if I find the Circuit Analysis class for Fall 20, that would be this one. Okay, so when I go into the class, this is what my screen looks like. I have this set of links over here on the left, and I'm going to set this to view as student, and we'll see what it looks like for you. So I should be able to go in here and make a quick change. And I think yours probably looks more like this. So you'll have these links over to the left, and you'll come up to the announcement page, and then you'll have this link right here that I made available today. This is called the course document link. This is the most important link on the website. This will contain all your class documents and assignments. So we put everything under this link. Before we go in, let me just read the announcement that I put out today. You probably already got this if you have your phone synced to Blackboard. Maybe your phone went off. I'll just go ahead and read it and talk briefly about it. It says, I hope you enjoy class this semester. We have many topics to cover, and you will learn a lot. You will need several items for the class. First, you will need a 3-ring binder, at least 1 inch thick, and you'll need a 3-hole punch. This is because I recommend that you print out all documents on Blackboard and post them in the 3-ring binder for easy review. So the books that we use for both courses, both the Fundamentals course and Circuits 1 course, in my opinion, or they're okay, but I do like to add a lot of supplements to the book. And then when I teach using an outline that I call a topic sheet, and I support the topic sheet and the chapters in the book with other documents. So get a 3-ring binder, a 1-inch thick 3-ring binder, and a 3-hole punch, and then you're able to, as I put documents on Blackboard, you're able to print those documents off, punch them with the 3-hole punch, put them into the 3-ring binder, and at that point you have basically you're building another textbook. That's good for a couple reasons. One main reason is that it makes for easy review for exams and quizzes if you have everything neatly organized in the 3-ring binder. So you will need that 3-ring binder. You also need an analog digital trainer. Now, this is only true if you're in the circuit analysis class. If you're in the fundamentals class, you do not have to purchase the analog digital trainer. But if you're in the circuit analysis class, you will need the analog digital trainer. And I will say more about that. You will not need it this week. You won't need it this week. You will not need it next week. But around the 3rd weekend, you'll need it. So I have some information on, a little bit of information on the syllabus, the model. I have a link that you can click on to go and look at it. It is available through the Cincinnati State Bookstore, or you can go online and get it. If I don't know how quickly you get it if you go online. Thing is, you got 3 weeks, so if you're going to go online and try to get it at a cheaper price, you probably want to do that right away, because we will be up ready to roll with it on week 3. But you can go to the bookstore. I don't know what their markup is, but I know it's significant. So if you have financial aid, probably not an issue. It should be enough to cover the trainer and your books. But if you're trying to save on funds, then search around. Again, I have the model number. I'll show you here in just a second when we bring up the syllabus, and you can save a little bit of money if you haven't already purchased it. Also, it says you'll need a set of coloring pens or pencils. They do make the coloring pens with the 3 or 4 color ink pens that you can push down on the sides. I recommend though a set of coloring pencils because you have more color choices. The reason for that is part of our analysis when we do engineering problems, you're going to need to color code parts of the problem. It helps you to actually solve the problem, keep things neat, and it makes it a lot easier for me to find solutions. So you want to purchase coloring pens or pencils. You will need the ability to print and to scan. You need the, I'm not going to say you have to have a printer, but you got to have access to a printer. There are going to be some documents that I put on Blackboard, such as the topic sheets, that you have to print out, and then you have to scan. So to do that, you'll need a scanner that will scan to a PDF. If you don't own a scanner, there are apps that you can put on your phone that allows you to take a picture of a document. It'll automatically convert it to a PDF and take the background out, and then you can submit that to me. Some of the documents you're going to turn in, you'll hand in to me when you meet for lab. So you'll actually hand in hard copies. But some of the other documents you'll have to upload through Blackboard, and those are the ones that you'll need the ability to scan. So you will need the ability to scan, either a scanner that will scan the PDF, or, as I said before, there's a particular app I recommend, or maybe you already know of one, that you can take a picture and it'll convert the picture to a PDF and you can upload it. You'll need a calculator. I recommend a certain model here, but you don't have to use the model that I recommend. And I think that's pretty much a summary of what I have here for announcement. Make sure if you haven't read this, you read it. There's a couple links in here that will interest you. One is an overview of the system we'll use to do our video stream, the collaboration software. So it talks about that a little bit if you're not familiar with Blackboard Collaborate. And also the link to connect to the class video stream. So tomorrow at 9 o'clock, you can click on this link and it'll take you into the electronic video stream where we'll do our video, our class. And then there's also a number you can call in. So if you haven't had a chance to look at this, announcement, then make sure you go in and you take a look at that and read it. So this is what I have as a student view. So this is probably what you're seeing. So I'm going to go back to the instructor view and go into Blackboard. And I want to point out a few things. All right, so in my Blackboard, I can go over here to, let me move this over. I can go here to Blackboard courses, and I'm going to find our course. And again, if you're in the fundamentals course, you can kind of follow along. I'm going to use my circuit analysis course, but everything is pretty much the same. So here's my circuit analysis course. I'll open that up. And again, over on the left, the link that's important is the one that says course documents. I post everything under there. So we go there, you will see the syllabus, you'll see a folder that contains lab materials, and you'll see our week 1 topics. And this will increase every week. I'll come in and I'll add another week of topic and documents that you can print out and add to your binder. So let's go in and take a look at the syllabus and review it. All right. Now I'm not going to go through the whole thing because it's pretty exhaustive. So you make sure you go through and read it in detail because there is important information in here. I did highlight certain things in red that I want you to take note of. So make sure you go through the whole thing, but focus on what I have highlighted in red. So if you're in the circuit analysis course, it's EET 131. You're either in section 001 or 002. Circuit analysis 1. Again, my name, Professor Ron Singleton. If you're in the fundamentals course, it's EET 101, and there's only one section, EET 101, section 001. I have my contact information here, the school, Cincinnati State email, and this is my office number, and then I have a number you can text. Now that number you can text I have highlighted in red because students tend to gravitate towards texting. So I have this number. I want to make you aware that it is not a cell phone. If you're familiar with Google Voice, this is a Google Voice number. You can text, you can send pictures, pretty much almost everything you can do with a cell phone you can do with this number. But I have this here for convenience for students. It's probably the quickest way to get a hold to me. Text me. If you ever email me, you might want to follow the email with the text because this actually opens up anytime I'm on a computer and I have my email up and someone sends me a text, I'll get a notification. If you email me something, I'll get it, but I don't check my emails often as I check this text here. So I'll say this, that if you want to get if you want to get to me quickly, use this number to send me information or to contact me. And if it's not anything that urgent, then you can email me at the Cincinnati State email. The office number, I'm there. There's a list of office hours here that I have on the syllabus. And so usually I'll be at this number during those hours. So if you call the number, you don't get an answer, I might have stepped away from the desk. But pretty much I'm going to do office hours here. Now, speaking about office hours, since we're not meeting face-to-face other than for lab, if you need office hours, I'm not doing face-to-face meetings with students. I'm only doing meetings by phone or meetings by web. Now, if we're doing an engineering problem and you need help with the calculation, it's going to be kind of hard to do that by phone. So I will say call me if you just need to talk about something. But if you need help with a problem or you have a question about a specific concept, then you probably want to schedule a web meeting. And at that point, what I'll do is I'll give you a link, and I'll go to a room and I'll set up the camera, and we'll have a two-way communication between me and one other student, or it can be a group of students, and then we can talk about any problem that you might have, any technical or engineering problem. We do meet face to face once a week for labs. So if it's something where you just definitely want to meet face to face with me, I'll only do that during our lab session. And speaking of lab sessions, we will not meet for lab on week 1. So this week there will be no lab meeting. We will have a lab meeting the following week. So that goes for both classes. If you're in fundamentals or if you're in circuits 1, we'll meet next week for lab. There will be a lab this week, however. There's a lab that when we go back out of this syllabus, then we'll talk about the first lab assignment. So you have the course number, title of the course, Professor Ron, way to contact me, and my office hours. And then there's a course description depending on if you're in the Circuits 1 course or the Fundamentals course. You can read that. And then I have a list of topics that we'll go through for the semester. And I won't bore you with reading those. You can read those yourself. There's a link for program outcomes if you're interested in those. There's also some course learning outcomes specific to the course that you're taking. I'll have to list those for you later. I'm supposed to get those sent over from another professor, and I have yet to receive those. So if you're interested in those, let me know, and I'll update the syllabus. If you are taking Circuits 1, there's 2 books that you'll need. Principles of Electric Circuits by Floyd and Buchla, 10th edition, and then there's a lab manual, Experiments in Basic Circuits, and the author on that is Buchla. We're using the 10th edition. However, if you have an older edition, you may be able to use an older edition. Some of the problems that I give in the new edition, they don't line up exactly with older editions, but I have been able to work around that with certain students. So if that's an issue, if you have to use an older edition, just make sure you let me know, and we'll see what we can work out. Actually, it says here 8th edition for the circuits, the manual, but I want to say that 8th, 9th, or 10th edition. I actually think they're on the 10th edition, so you can probably update this. All of them are pretty much the same, so if you got the 8th, you're still okay. But I do believe, if I'm not mistaken, when I was in the office earlier today, that I saw the 10th edition, so that might be a typo. I would say 8th, 9th, or 10th edition for the lab manual would work. If you get an older edition, you can probably save yourself a little bit of money. The other thing I have highlighted, I mentioned the analog digital trainer. This is the model for it. So this is actually a link that if you go live with this, you can click on this. It'll take you to a picture of what the trainer looks like. You want to get this model trainer. If you're familiar with these trainers, you can get a higher end model. They pretty much all do the same thing. But if you want to be able to follow along with me in class, then I would recommend getting this particular model. If you order this online and not through the bookstore, you want to make sure that they sell this trainer 2 ways. They sell the trainer assembled and they sell it unassembled. You don't want to get the unassembled one. You want to make sure it says assembled when you get it, so you don't have to go through the trouble of putting it together. You also need a digital multimeter. Now this you need kind of right away. So a digital multimeter. That digital multimeter, you can buy that. Pretty much any hardware will sell a digital multimeter. I bought one, I don't know, it might have been a year ago that I purchased it. I got mine from Lowe's. You can pick one up at Home Depot, Ace Hardware, pretty much any hardware or tool store where you can buy electrical or work tools will sell a multimeter. As far as how much to spend on the multimeter, they range from $5 up to probably $500. What I would recommend is anywhere between $20 and $30. I wouldn't spend much over $30 for it. If you spend $30 for a digital multimeter, you got a really, really good meter. For what we're going to do in both of those classes, Fundamentals and Circuits 1, the range, $20 to $30 ranges should give you enough functionality to where you'll be able to do anything. Now that meter is something that you'll need right away. You will need that to complete Lab 1. And so I would recommend maybe after we talk tomorrow on our video stream that you think about in the next day or 2 or 3 going out and purchasing that meter. There is a link that I can send you that our department chair recommends students get a meter. He used this particular meter for a couple semesters over as we were doing the videos. So I'll send that link out. If you want to get it online through a link or through Amazon, you can do that. However, you do run the risk of not getting it soon enough. That's the only problem with getting things nowadays online. He said that this was last semester. His students got it in about 3 days when they went to this link. So 3 days would definitely fit. It will work for us in our time frame. However, it's not a guarantee. So for the first lab, you will need the digital multimeter. So you can either try to order it. I say if you're going to order it tomorrow, you probably will get it in time if you go to the link that I'll give you, or maybe Amazon. If you want to guarantee that you have it in time, just go out to Home Depot or Lowe's, somewhere like that, pick one up, and then you know you'll have it. I grade on the 10-point scale, and here are the weights for both classes. There's exam grades, our category, quiz category, homework category, and then there's labs or lab work. Exams, typically I have 4 exams, so if I follow that 4 exams, then there'll be 15% a piece. And quizzes, we have at least 1 quiz a week, sometime more. As long as we're meeting face-to-face, then what I plan to do is give the quizzes at the beginning of each lab. Now, I don't give makeup quizzes, so if you miss a lab or you miss a quiz, you have to take the 0. However, I did or will set up Blackboard to drop your 2 lowest grades. So saying that, you can miss 2 quizzes and it won't have any effect on your grade at all. Blackboard will be set up to drop the 2 lowest quizzes. In addition to that, I give what I call outside assignments that count as quiz grades. So I just kind of, as I'm going through teaching, I might think about an interesting topic and say, hey, go do some research on this, or go gather some pictures or something on that, and it counts as a quiz grade. So between the outside assignments and the extra outside assignments and the quizzes and research that I give you, you should be able to have a decent quiz average if you do everything. If you don't do something, it's not optional. Everything I give you is required. So if you don't do it, even though people tend to think of it as extra credit, it really isn't extra credit. It's required. So if you don't do an easy assignment like a research assignment I might give you, it'll be put into your grade book as a 0, and then you'll be using one of those zeros to drop what would have been an easy grade. So I don't recommend not doing an assignment, so that's an extra assignment. But here's the breakdown. So you'll have 4 exams. Again, that could change, but typically 4. At least a quiz a week, sometimes more. Some of those quizzes, again, will be given in labs so that I can actually hand you a hard copy. You can hand it back to me. Some will do by remote, where I'll put a problem on the board, give you a certain amount of time to work it, and then you text me the answer. It just depends. Again, no makeup on quizzes and no makeups on exams. The only way that you can get a makeup, well, there's no way to get a makeup on the quiz. I drop the lowest 2 and I give you extra work to kind of soften and cushion your grade. If you miss an exam for a medical reason, or if you are military, or if, let's say, you have a death in the family, you can be excused from the exam and retake it later. Now, if that happens, you have to be able to provide documentation for me in order for me to honor that. If you don't show documentation, then I cannot give you a makeup exam. As far as labs, I would recommend not missing a lot of labs. The problem is with the way we're doing things, not meeting face-to-face, the labs and the lab room, the lab space is tightly scheduled, so it'll be really difficult if you miss a lab. Not impossible, but it's going to be hard if you miss a lab. So I have some students in the past that will miss a couple labs, and that's when we were meeting face-to-face, and that can really cause an issue. So unless something's really going on, you want to make sure that you attend the lab session. A lot of this in the syllabus you can read, and I'm not going to sit here and read it to you, but I do want to point out what I had highlighted in red, and then take a look at if you need any kind of disability services or anything else on here that applies to you. If that applies to you and there's any way I can help or you need my assistance for anything, then please let me know. So that is the syllabus. And then let me go back to Blackboard. There is this addendum. Now this is very, very, very important. I'll open this up, but I'm not going to read it. Since we are meeting face to face, there's certain rules that you'll have to follow. And the idea is to keep everybody safe. In the current situation we have with the virus, the college wants to take certain measures to make sure everyone is safe. So please read this document, and when we do meet face to face, we will not have a lab this week, but starting next week, you must have a mask. We have to stay a certain distance apart, and you must comply with basically everything in this paper. So please, please read this and make sure that, and I'll emphasize this again before we meet, but I will not allow anybody into the classroom who doesn't have a mask and follow these safety precautions that we have here. Having said that, I do want to say that there is always a possibility that we'll get going face to face for lab, and then depending on what the numbers are with the virus, it's a possibility that we could close back down. So that's another reason why you want to make sure you have the ability to print documents and to scan documents, because if we do end up closing down later in the semester, we still have to have the ability to go back and forth with our documents and for me to receive and send you work. So the ability to scan and print papers is going to be really, really important. And also, if you have the trainer that I mentioned, you'll be able to do a lot of this lab stuff at home if we provide you with the parts. And what we did last semester for you students who are in electronic fundamentals, we actually had kits that students were able to borrow from the school. Since you're not electrical majors, we don't expect you to purchase the digital trainers. They're kind of costly, so if we do end up going to the point to where we have to not meet face to face, then we'll provide you with materials that you can work at home. So make sure you read this addendum to the syllabus, which is that second link, and then I'll take you into the lab material. So right here you see that I have posted lab 1, so if you're interested in what that's going to be about, you can go to that link for lab 1, and then connected with the link is this video that you'll have to watch. So you may want to go ahead and watch the video, but it'll be way, way, way more helpful if you get your digital multimeter and watch the video while you have your meter. But if you just want to learn a little bit about meters before you purchase one, then you can probably watch the video or actually go to YouTube and look up any video on the digital multimeter. When you purchase your meter now, be aware that there's two types. There's the digital multimeter, and then there are analog multimeters. An analog multimeter is not the one you want. You want the digital multimeter. The analog multimeter will have a needle that moves. The digital multimeter will have a display, a digital display that lights up and shows the digits that way. So make sure you do not get an analog multimeter. Make sure you get a digital multimeter so that we can all basically have the same type of meter in class, and it'll be easy for me to refer to different parts of the meter, different functionality of the meter. So have a look at lab 1, and then what I do for each class is I post assignments by the week. See, my Blackboard got stuck a little bit, but let's see if I can back up with this. Okay, I think my screen might have froze up, but you can take a look at this. So if you go back to course documents, you should be able to click on the week 1 folder that I showed you. And then there what you'll find is the topic sheet. Here we go. So if we go back here, week 1 and date and the topic that we'll talk about for that week. And then I'll do that every week. Usually on Sundays I'll post that. And if we go into the folder, okay, my Blackboard is running slow. So you do this, you go into the folder and you'll see the documents that we use for that particular week. Now, one of those documents is called a topic sheet. And the topic sheet is an outline of the chapter. It's not a comprehensive outline. It's just an outline of the main points that I want to talk about. You are still responsible for reading the entire chapter for that particular week, because there'll be things that I don't talk about that you need to know about, but I'm only going to highlight and go into the details of certain topics, and that will be what's on the topic sheet. If you're in Circuit Analysis 1, then your homework assignments are listed on the bottom of each topic sheet. If you're in Electronic Fundamentals, there'll be a separate folder and you'll have worksheets that you do your homework off of. I don't have any of those up on your website yet, but I'll have those up during the first week. So make sure you go into the week 1 folder between today and tomorrow and take a look at that. Just kind of look at the syllabus, look over things and see if you have any questions for me, and then we'll take it from there. So I wanted to do this short introduction to say hello to everybody and to just kind of show you Blackboard, because I know some of you might be new to college, the college experience, and also point out some things on the syllabus, and hopefully you found this video useful. I'll see you guys tomorrow. First thing, there is on the announcements, there is a link on how to use and how Collaborate works. So if you're not familiar with the Collaborate system, you might want to click on that link and take a quick view. It's a short video. Look at that before class starts tomorrow. Guys, have a great rest of the day, and I look forward to meeting you guys tomorrow by video. I'll see you later. Thank you.